On this episode, I'll be unboxing the soundtrack for The Last Blockbuster from Enjoy the Ride Records. But I'm not doing it alone. I'll be joined by the director of The Last Blockbuster, Taylor Morden. Let's cue the music.
Cool.
And then I'll just say welcome to the show, and then we'll just start chatting. I have nothing planned other than I'm going to open up this record because I can't wait to see it.
I love it. Which variant did you get?
We'll see.
Oh, surprise! I love surprises.
Yeah, surprise. Yeah, thank you for joining me on the show. You're my first interview / unboxing. I've done unboxings and I've had guests on, but I haven't done both. So first things first, I need to know, this is your second soundtrack on vinyl, right? Is that correct?
Yes.
Pick It Up.
Yeah, we did a vinyl soundtrack for that one, and I'm just a huge vinyl fan.
I've only started collecting vinyl like 2 years ago, like during the pandemic. So this is kind of fun because what I want to know is, like, for this, I mean, you're heavily involved with what music goes on here, obviously. Do you create a playlist before you even start the movie?
That's a good question. Not really on this one, because the thing about Blockbuster videos, it spans 3.5 decades, right? So right. Almost all music is applicable. And in terms of the score, so the way we did this one is one side is songs and the other side is the score from the movie. There's not that many songs in the movie. And I was really into the score. A buddy of mine that I used to be in a band with did the score. And we actually started pretty early, like before there was a movie. I was like, can you start making music that has the vibe of the inside of a Blockbuster video store? Right. So we were working on the music like when we were just starting to shoot the movie, kind of hand in hand. So like the rough cut had a lot of the final music in it.
Okay.
And then he would go back in and change the timing, fit the movie. But some of the themes and the like bouncy pizzicato string stuff and stuff was done years before the movie came out.
But I mean, that probably makes it easier to edit to that music, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it ended up saving time.
It's almost like you have an original temp track,
yes.
Essentially.
Yes.
Yeah, that's awesome. Now, what is it? It's the movie came out, maybe a year and a half ago, 2 years ago?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Something like that. And this whole time, have you been trying to get this vinyl released? Is this something that came up a little bit later in the game?
The vinyl idea, it came from our music supervisor who helped get the songs. Look at him opening it up. That's awesome. He was connected to this label, Enjoy the Ride Records, and they do a lot of kind of cool indie movie soundtracks and bigger movies too, but
right.
Crazy stuff that shouldn't be on vinyl. They're like, there's a market for this. Let's make records. And they're real into the cool color variants and all the neat stuff. And so that was a month or two after the movie came out, our music supervisor hit me up and was like, hey, this record company is interested in doing a soundtrack on vinyl. Do you want to do it? And I couldn't say yes fast enough. I was like,
right.
Great. I don't have to do it because I did the one for my last movie.
Right.
Handled with a buddy of mine, handled all the paperwork and the, dealing with the pressing and the plant and then shipping out the records. It was not a nightmare, but not fun.
Yeah.
It's been almost a year waiting for these to get pressed.
I worked in a record factory for 3 days.
Wow.
I couldn't hack it because the machines were so old, and I got put into creating the printed stuff.
Okay.
I was in the area. I did do some stuff where I was taking some actual vinyl off the press, but this was going to be my job, was working with the guy who did this and the machine. I spent my third day there, the last day I worked. I spent standing in one spot for about 4 hours while he tried to fix the machine that was 50 years old. And so I was like, oh no. Like this is the opposite of like Willy Wonka's Chocolate Factory. So just seeing what it takes for records to be made, it's crazy. And I look at like some companies who are actually showing how the process is done. They have like much nicer facilities than that I've seen. But the thing about Enjoy the Ride records is they release one of my favorite releases that I've gotten, and that's the Lancelot Link soundtrack. which as a kid growing up with Nick at Night, like Lancelot Link was huge. Completely problematic now. Have you seen Lancelot Link? Do you remember? So it was essentially a spy show. Like imagine a Hanna-Barbera spy show where there's a spy and he has a band, and at the end you get a song from the band.
Okay.
But it's not animated. It's live chimpanzees dressed up, and they're mouthing, and they put in the dialogue after. Yeah, when you're a kid, it's entertaining, but those chimps weren't treated right. But the soundtrack is amazing, and I highly recommend the soundtrack.
I will check
also
that out.
from Enjoy the Rides. The songs are fantastic. No apes were harmed during the making of the soundtrack. It's all people's voices, so that's good.
Right. That's good.
Did you have what, as far as it goes to creating this record, which by the way, like, this is great. I love
Thank
this.
you.
It matches the film perfectly.
I did the cover art, and it's the same. We had just done, when they approached us, we had just done trading cards.
Okay.
And we tried to do them as NFTs, but we're like physical media, old school people, and we don't know what NFTs are.
Yeah.
So we launched these trading cards as NFTs, and everybody was like, why don't you just make make trading cards, you idiots? That's what your audience is. So we did that, and we sold them in the store. At Blockbuster, they sold these trading cards.
Oh.
And basically the album cover art was the cover for the packs of trading cards. I just added the word soundtrack to it, but that's where that came from.
So you actually designed this.
Mm-hmm.
That's great. Because I was going to ask how much were you involved with the creation of the look and design of the album? Mm-hmm. And I was wondering if you just handed that over to
a little bit. It was collaborative with those guys. Like I gave them, like the back art is based on a bunch of graphics we had made for the movie, but like they finished it, did the layout and all the text and everything.
Yeah, I love the old, what is it, CRT?
That TV?
TV? Yeah.
That TV is right there.
Oh, it's actually an actual photo of your TV?
That's and we filmed that actual TV for the movie. All of our like archival footage that plays back on a TV actually played back on that TV in the store. And
so you're super involved with the creation of this.
Yeah,
very hands-on. Yeah, that's the thing I was wondering, because I mean, earlier you said that Enjoy the Ride like approached you, and I was like, well, did that just something they just took care of themselves and you were hands off? But no, that's awesome. Had to do it. You had to do it.
I mean, it should be an actual sticker, but that adds, I don't know, 3 cents to the manufacturing, but
yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Which version do you think I got?
So the thing is, I got one of each, and they are all great for different reasons. I think, God, it's such a tough call because I don't know what kind of records you like, because I haven't seen this show before.
Yeah, this is the first. Yeah, there's not a lot of unboxings. I tend to get kind of whatever's going to look cool on I have a U-turn audio player. It's green. And so I like, it's a real bright, vibrant green, almost like a green screen type of green.
Gotcha.
I like the swirls. Swirls always look good.
Yeah.
Crazy colors are always fun to shoot and put on Instagram. And I really, really liked the blue and yellow swirl version, but I didn't get it.
Okay. I was going to say it's between the yellow and the VHS splatter. The VHS like gray and white, and it's actually clear splatter, which I didn't know until it came, because it doesn't photograph as clear.
Right.
is just so cool because it looks like TV static. Like that one really gets me. But then the yellow one, the side B with the Be Kind Rewind sticker on it, is so awesome. Like just yep.
I got the yellow one.
That's so cool. Yeah.
I mean,
oh man, I love it. I love it. And it's a little tiny bit transparent, which again I didn't know. Which makes it that much cooler.
The one of the reasons I got it because it was the one that they only did 100 of, I believe.
Yeah, I think it's the most limited variant.
Is the most limited one, and I'm like, man, I want to get like the coolest one. And this is like this yellow. It really doesn't show up on the screen, but it's almost like a highlighter,
It's like highlighter yellow,
neon yellow. This is great too. I like this sign. It just says the songs.
Yeah.
And
we got the songs and the score are the two sides.
Yeah, this is my first time seeing it. This yellow is great, and it's gonna look good on my green.
Yeah, it is.
It's gonna be like Lyman. What is that? Slice or Sprite? It's gonna be the brightest green. And the Be Kind Rewind sticker. Like I've never seen one that big. It's what's really fun to see in this. I don't know what else to say about it. I'm stoked on it, and I can't wait to listen to it. But it's a good looking record, man. It's a really good looking record.
Pleased. The thing is, and also all three variants are very cool.
I know.
I think the yellow is my favorite, but like I said, the black and white VHS splatter that looks like TV static, I didn't realize it was clear. So depending on your slip mat or your turntable, it also comes through very cool looking. But I
have a Godzilla slip mat, but I also, if I don't use slip mat, my platter is clear. It's a clear like acrylic.
Wow.
So maybe I should have got the splatter. I don't know. It was tough. Like literally the decision was, here I am, day one. They're all for sale.
Yeah.
And I was just like, this one has the lowest run. And I'm not really like a collector. Like I don't really care. I'm more about, the music and the aesthetics.
Mm-hmm.
Like I just got a Tron record from Disney Music Emporium, and it's literally the most bare bones thing you've ever seen. Black vinyl, track list on the back, logo on the front.
Yeah.
The end. And I was like, I don't really care because I like the music. I can go spend like, hundreds of bucks for the original pressing. And I just kind of want to listen to it. So when it came to this, I was like, no, I'm going to get the lower run one. I want to get the one that's going to go up in value, even though I'll never sell it. I don't know why.
Yeah.
But I think that the way you describe the other one with the static, I'm like, I have a Godzilla slip mat. I have all kinds of slip mats with different things on it that would look really cool.
Yeah, I think the problem, Enjoy the Ride has done a great job with this, but they didn't, like, nowhere in the marketing did it tell me like that the yellow is a little bit transparent, which makes it cooler. And I thought that the VHS splatter was just a gray, because in all the photographs it looks like it's gray. They never put something behind it.
The background. Yeah, lately what I've been doing when I've been taking pictures of my collection and putting them on Instagram is, if it's a transparent disc, I'll put it on top of the record cover so that you can see through it.
Yeah.
And because otherwise everything is just white, because I use a white background, and so you don't get to see the transparencies normally. But I mean, dude, like, it's still awesome. Like I almost got all three. I almost did.
Oh yeah. The test pressing bundle was very cool.
Which is kind of a regret, but what I really, really regret is not getting a tape. Now, I don't have a tape in my house. I don't have a tape player in my house, but dude, the tape is fucking awesome. Yeah. You showed that on Instagram recently. If you want to show it off here, that's great. I think I can actually make it bigger. Can I make it bigger? Oh, that makes me bigger.
That's the opposite.
There we go.
Yeah. So the tape, I love it. They took the VHS cover, right, and made it a slip cover for this cassette. And I think these are already sold out. And they did a very limited amount that are regular cassettes and an
I mean,
even smaller run of these blue ones, blue and yellow, which, come on, this looks like, you remember the cassettes that came with the books when you're a little kid?
Yeah.
You put it in and it'd be a story.
Yeah. It looks like that. It totally looks like that.
It looks like that.
Can I
and
just,
I love
can
it.
I just go back to the actual, that. The detail on this is incredible. I love how many Blockbuster movie tapes ended up in your collection where you try to rip off that blue Blockbuster sticker off the side. It looks exactly like that.
Yeah.
It looks exactly like that. And like that level of detail, as soon as I saw that, I'm like, shit, I wish I got that. I really do. It's
Part
cool.
of the reasoning for that is a little bit because we don't actually own the rights to the Blockbuster logo.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a finicky gray area, but if we cover it with enough stickers, like you'll know there's no full logos on the tape.
Yeah.
And it only appears on the record as part of the movie logo, which is fine. But that was like a conscious thing that we've had to do a lot of like, oh, let's just put stickers all over it because, so far no one has come forward and said, I own the Be Kind Rewind sticker. You owe us royalties.
Yeah, there's so many versions of it. There's so many versions of it. And I've VHS dude on Twitter and everything. I collect VHS. I have my New World Video hat on for the occasion. I believe, is this Cavity? No, not Cavity Colors. Who's Media Crypt. Media Crypt, I think, makes this hat. Probably made yours, maybe?
Mine is Lunch Meat VHS.
Lunch?
Yeah.
Love the Josh.
Yeah. Josh, yeah. They did our VHS release.
Yes.
For Blockbuster.
Which I also didn't get because, again, I only worked at the record factory 3 days. Yeah. But I mean, I love the movie. I think the movie's fantastic. And I'm looking forward to playing the soundtrack. Do you have any more thoughts on the record release itself? Any sort of insight on?
I mean, there's a lot of fun tidbits with the track listing and stuff. So like, the song side is a great track by Word Burglar called Rental Patient, which is about renting movies, which is in the movie, but it's not, it's instrumental in the movie. So put the real version on the soundtrack. And then there was this band called the Blockbusters, which I think they reached out to us after we did our Kickstarter, and they're like, we're a band called that. And they like dress up in the uniforms, and they were like a 90s, 80s cover band. But they were like, can we write you a song for the movie? And they did, and it's great, and it's what plays in the end credits. So that's where that came from. And then the two, like the popular songs, All Star by Smash Mouth and Kiss Me by Sixpence None the Richer, that are in the movie, those are covers because we couldn't afford the originals for the movie or for the soundtrack. So the quote unquote fun fact about that I don't care that much how many people know, but like that's me singing All Star and playing all the instruments. Like
that's
because I'm a musician. I'm like, well, we can't afford the original, so how hard could this song be to play?
I noticed the band was called the Last Blockbuster Band, and I had a hunch.
It's only
knowing you're a musician, I had a hunch. That's great, dude. You have music on vinyl. You performed and you're on vinyl, and I own that vinyl, which is great because I for forever, even before I really started collecting vinyl, I'm like, man, I wish there was something I can do to be put on vinyl, and there's nothing. I've been podcasting since 2006, and I'm like, I can't even imagine putting any of the stuff I podcasted on vinyl. I don't know how.
Didn't Jonah Ray do that? Didn't he put out a podcast on vinyl?
I know people have done it. I know it's a thing. I think Jonah has.
It's very expensive to press vinyl.
I do appear on an album.
Nice.
I mean, I don't want to brag or anything, but I'm on an album with Lin-Manuel Miranda and Paul McCartney, amongst others. it's 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 my one of my two truths and a lie stories is that I do perform on an album with Paul McCartney and Lin-Manuel Miranda, amongst thousands of other people, or hundreds, I should say hundreds. But a friend of mine made an album with those guys on it, and there's a spoken word part where he got 250 of his friends to do spoken word on this album, and I'm one of those people. But
That's
it's true.
Cool.
You can't pick me out. You can't pick me out. It's called Travelogue Volume 1 by Michael Giacchino. And he asked me to perform it. Yeah, I already did an interview with friend Henry Abrams, and we discuss it on that interview, which will be released at a later time. But this is way cooler because you actually are singing.
Yeah, I was on another one a decade ago. I did a song with Weezer back in the day, like a collaboration through YouTube, and like they liked my version of it, and we like collaborated on the actual recording, and then they released that on an album, their album Death to False Metal, which came out on vinyl. Shit. That was the first record I got that I'm on.
Oh my God.
But you can clearly hear me singing and playing guitar and stuff on that with Weezer.
You're not buried.
I'm not buried. It was my mix.
That's awesome. Oh, that helps.
Yeah,
that helps if it's your mix. How many copies of that did you buy?
They gave me 4, and I think I've bought a few. I buy it whenever I see it at a record store, so I've bought a few more over the years. And I just give them away because what do I need? They didn't do color variants or anything. It's just a black
just sign it and give it to people.
Yeah, I thought like go to the record store, sign it, and just leave it back in the bin. Right. Like, who is this person?
So let's do some plugs and let's talk about what you're doing in the future. Let's talk about what you're doing in the future first. I know what your next project is that you're working on now. I'm excited because I have no sort of frame of reference to it other than I worked at Downtown Disney when there was a Build-A-Bear workshop.
Yes.
And you're working on a Build-A-Bear movie, a documentary. Mm-hmm. From the small amount of photos I've seen from this, it looks like it's going to be something else for sure.
That's what we're going for. Yeah. And it's not done yet, but it's shaping up to be a little bit bonkers, a little bit unexpected for a teddy bear movie.
Yeah. And has Enjoy the Ride come knocking on your door for that?
No, I mean, we didn't even have the final soundtrack locked in. So yeah. I think it matters a little bit what songs are in your movie, whether they want to put it out.
Maybe. But I'm wondering if the Build-A-Bear is enough. Is this like you're not going to have to like cover up the Build-A-Bear logo and stuff, right?
No, we've got the rights to Build-A-Bear for this.
So, I mean, you can really let them know, like, this is like.
Yeah. One thing I did learn doing the doc so far, and I don't know if this will be in the movie or not, but they, since the very beginning, have had their own original music, like made for the store, that are these weird, like the original ones from the 90s are bonkers.
That's like piped into the store?
Yeah. And they would sell CDs when the store first opened of this teddy bear music. Right now in the rough cut of the movie, there's a bit about it. But they just like made these songs, and they're wild because every song is a different like musical genre. So there's a country song about a country bear, and a hip hop song about a hip hop bear, and like a jazz song about a jazz bear. It's crazy. I think they're on YouTube.
And it's all songs. There's no like instrumentals. It's all
right. It's all they wrote lyrics about Build-A-Bear.
Okay, so a couple things. A, try to get them in your movie. B, like this sounds like right up Enjoy the Ride's alley. Like this is weird enough. Depending on how fun and listenable these songs are, I can see these being an album. I mean,
I can pitch it. I think they might go for it. the Build-A-Bear folks. We'd have to get the permission for the songs, but I would buy that record.
I would buy it just for the novelty of it, because I like had vague recollections of Lancelot Link when I was a kid, and I just snatched up that record because I'm like, it's going to be 60s music, and I listen to it all the time. And if you can't get your hands on the album, I know it's like you can download it on digital services. They put it up there.
Right.
Like the most basic 60s psychedelic music ever. Maybe some of them are a little too adult for a kid's show.
Mm-hmm.
So it's got a real weird feeling vibe to it.
I love that.
But yeah, check that out. I'm definitely going to go listen to those Build-A-Bear songs. And I mean, I might regret it thinking that it should go straight to vinyl, but
I think cassette, because then you could get it and put it in a Teddy Ruxpin and make him freak out to Build-A-Bear songs, which is aggressive.
Have you put that into a Teddy Ruxpin? You have.
I don't have a Teddy Ruxpin. No.
I'm looking at your shelves right now. I'm feeling like you need
I know.
one.
I had
you have an Urkel and a Pee-wee and an Alf. Is that an Alf? I think that's Alf.
Yeah, there's an Alf and a Gizmo and it's a lot. When I was a kid, though, I didn't have a Teddy Ruxpin, but late, like as a 14-year-old or something at a Goodwill, I found the Sesame Street Big Bird version of that. Where you put tapes in it and it would, open and close its mouth and dance around. But it was like the mid 90s. So I was putting like Nirvana tapes in Big Bird and I had it strapped to my bicycle handlebar. So I'd ride around with this Big Bird freaking out, playing Nirvana. It was my only boombox because it had a speaker in it, ran on batteries.
You had there was no shame involved. Like you were totally fine with that.
Oh, that's awesome. No, I was a unironically just into stuff kid. I didn't care. I wasn't embarrassed that was the best boombox I could afford. I was excited that I had Big Bird. But also
you also didn't gut it out. You didn't gut the stereo.
No. I love the novelty of it.
That's great.
But if you can't tell, I love the novelty of things.
Oh no, I'm with you. All right. I think it tricked out Teddy Ruxpin, really get a Bluetooth speaker in there, really make the bass pound would be the way to go.
They should make custom tapes for it that make him do dances. It's just the movement track, but they program awesome moves into it.
I feel like it could be done.
I'm sure
people are still making Atari games today.
Right.
Yeah.
Make me a custom dancing Ruxpin tape.
All righty. Let's see. Where can people find you? Because they need to watch your movies. They need to watch all of them.
Cool. They can find them online. Yeah. At Pop Motion Pictures on Instagram. Last Blockbuster is on Netflix, and Pick It Up Sky in the 90s is on Amazon. And
is it?
I think it's on.
I need to watch it.
The free one with the commercials, Tubi. It might be on that.
It's on Tubi.
I don't pay attention.
Fine.
It's been out for a while.
I've been watching the Chucky movies on Tubi.
Nice.
It's high quality. Tubi's great. Tubi's the one that's going to come out of this whole mess, this whole streaming wars.
Yeah.
Tubi's going to be the last one standing, and I'll be there watching Pick It Up because I still haven't seen it. I need to see it.
Oh, you got to see it. The VHS collection will outlast Tubi. Outlast them all.
I had to get rid of mine. I kept the big box full, but it was taking up way too much space, and I was just it had to go. It went to a really, really good home.
Good.
It went to a really good home. So all of my movies went to a rental place here in LA, and then all of my how-to sort of churchy weird stuff went to Everything Is Terrible.
Nice. So
they're in good hands. They'll survive. I just doing this stuff out of my apartment, it's a little bit rough actually.
VHS it takes up a lot of cubic feet.
It does.
For what it is.
It really does. It really does. That's why I've been enjoying vinyl, because I can get it and it's so flat and just slides.
Yeah, you can get like several hundred vinyl into like one cube.
I have 150 vinyl in 3 cubes. It gets about 50 per cube. So nice. I mean, VHS is like,
you could fit 30 in that same space, tops.
Yeah, and that's going stacking up. Yeah, it's no fun. I love VHS, but it's you have to have a big place to pull it off if you want to do what I was doing.
Yeah,
which nobody should be doing what I was doing with VHS. Thank you for joining me. I'm excited to listen to the record. And maybe I'll go get that static splatter on the secondary market, and maybe a tape or two. Anyway,
good luck on the tapes. I think they're gonna have to do another pressing, because that's I hope
100%.
I don't know. I'm not in charge.
I would definitely get one this time for sure. Thanks for joining me. Oh,
no problem.
Yeah, do yellow. I'll get that. Or you do that Disney Red, those Disney Red tapes.
Oh yeah, it's not very Blockbuster though.
Or the orange Nickelodeon tapes.
Very good. Yes.
Okay, get on the phone. Look at that second pressing. Is it still a pressing when it's a tape?
A dubbing, maybe.
I guess. I don't know.
Another dubbing.
Right. Thank you so much again. We'll have you back on for the next time you have an album released for sure. And congrats on having a record come out.
Very exciting. See you next time.
Bye.